besides the problems that we have of our own ignorance in terms of our practice of Islam, etc., we have this other huge challenge in front of us, the secularists. And for the secularist, you know, anyone who seeks to practice Islam properly is an extremist. That is extremism. They only want what we may call liberal Islam or nominal Islam. It's okay if you drink, you shake the hands of women, you don't pray, Ramadan, you don't fast, maybe you fast a day or two, whatever, like this. That's what they want. But for you to insist, no, 5 times daily prayer, that's what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to dress this way. You're supposed to, eat this way. You're supposed to act this way, and so on and so on. That is extreme. That is extreme. So that is the struggle, and that is the test and challenge that the Muslim world is facing today. And it becomes greater and greater as Muslims become more and more conscious. Because 25 years ago, you didn't hear this stuff. They weren't banning veils in France and Belgium and all that. Why are they banning now? Why not 25 years ago? Well, because 25 years ago, nobody was wearing veils. Muslim women, in many parts of the Muslim world, hijab, there was no hijab. Right? So this change that has happened with the Ummah, where there's an awakening, where people are now becoming conscious and dressing and speaking and acting as Muslims, recognizing and identifying their identity and taking it on, this is now a threat. So when you listen to the presidents of Germany and France and UK, what they're saying to the Muslims there is that you are supposed to be a German first. You should look like a German, you should talk like a German, you should walk like a German, and think like a German. But you can also still be Muslim. I'm not saying you can't be Muslim, but these other things must take precedence. Same thing in France. They're all saying the same thing. They want this, you could say, they call it assimilation, integration. But really what it means is to become one of them. And Allah spoke about it in the Qur'an 1,400 years ago. وَلَن تَرْضَى عَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَا النَّصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُمْ. The Jews and the Christians will not be pleased with you until you follow their way. Way doesn't necessarily mean you convert to Christianity or Judaism, but follow their way. What is the way? Secularism. Because are Westerners really Christians? They're a minority. I mean, people will say, yeah, I'm Christian, but what does it mean? They maybe wear a big cross, it's just style. But what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. They're leaving the churches, in droves. Churches are being closed, shut down all over the West. In the Britain, it's so many, and Muslims are buying up the churches and turning them into masjids, that finally the church said, we have to stop this. They made a law amongst themselves that they will not sell any churches to Muslims. They will sell it to become a bar or a bowling alley or anything, but not to Muslims. But that's what's happening. So the West is not really a Christian thing. Some people think of it as like, a crusading. Yeah, there are, fundamentalists out there, and they're, doing their thing and converting Muslims in different parts of the world too. That's happening. But that's not the major thing. The major thing is secular Western civilization, which looks at Islam as an extreme. Because their basic principle is that religion should not interfere in the governance of people. Whereas Islam, Sharia says, religion is supposed to interfere in every aspect of the governance of people. So you're two poles, like the North and the South, the East and the West. Two poles apart. Now Islam doesn't say, we now must force everybody to follow our way. It doesn't say that. You want to believe that? Okay. We can deal with you on trade, etc. It's not a problem. But the West is driven to impose this on us. Because they believe, according to evolutionary theory, that they are the most evolved of human beings on the earth today. Western civilization is at the pinnacle of the pyramid of evolution. So they feel it their duty to help those down the bottom by imposing their secular systems on them, helping them. So, in the name of security, world peace, protecting civilization, they wage a war of jihad against the Muslim world. They don't call it jihad. If we fight back, it's jihad. But when they're doing, if you think about it, they're doing jihad for their belief system, to promote it. They're in Afghanistan, they're in Iraq, they're in the Muslim lands, waging a war of jihad to promote their secular way on the Muslim world. That is the bottom line. If jihad means to struggle against evil and to promote good, that is the essential meaning of jihad. So you can make jihad with yourself, within yourself, against the evil tendencies. Jihad in your family, jihad in your society, jihad outside of your society. Promoting the good and prohibiting the evil. Isn't that what they claim? When they went into Iraq, weapons of mass destruction, right? To prevent the evil of Saddam with all these weapons of mass destruction which he didn't have, right? They were going in there to stop and protect the world against him. So they were waging jihad. So this is the struggle that we are faced today on a world scale, that Western civilization have identified those who seek to practice Islam as it is in the Qur'an and the Sunnah, to live their lives according to that, as being extremists. So we are religious extremists. And we're labeled fundamentalists, that's the title given to the extremists, religious extremists amongst themselves. Christian sects that believe that the Bible is the Word of God from Genesis to Revelation, and so on and so forth, infallible, etc. They label their people that, and then they put the same label on us. So, extremist, fundamentalist, terrorist, because that's what it becomes now. And, as people have pointed out, this guy in Norway, who is a Christian fundamentalist, who blew up all these people, waging war against Muslims, they don't call him, a Christian terrorist. You will not see anywhere in those news, they say a Christian fundamentalist who committed this act of terrorism, but you will never see in the news Christian terrorist. But you let one Muslim do anything, and this is Muslim terrorism. Right? Always Muslim terrorism. Not a Muslim who committed a terroristic act, but Muslim terrorist. These two are put together. And this is deliberate media blackening, distortion of what Islam is and what it represents.